Good afternoon. Hopefully you guys can all see me okay. I'm actually doing this outside. I'm sitting on my deck because it's beautiful. So there may be background noise. I usually do these in my office, but I wanted to take advantage of the weather. There may be barking dogs in the background. So hopefully okay. So I wanted to kick off this sneak peek by just introducing myself. I think the majority of you guys that are in here probably know who I am. But I wanted to just start out by giving you a little introduction about who I am, how I got here, why I coach. So the way that I usually do peaks, I usually do 2 to 3 videos a day for 2 to 3 days in a row, and just kind of go over all of the things that are coaching. So I usually start out with a video like this, a little welcome, just telling you guys about my story, and then over the next few days I'll talk about hesitations, objections. I'll talk about the financial side of things. Sorry, there's a lot going on behind me. I'll talk about the financial side of things, and then I will also talk to you guys about like what it looks like to join our team and what you get with that and how all of that works. So my story, you guys, goes back a long time ago. So for anybody who doesn't know, my name's Autumn Harris. I am a Beachbody coach, a lifetime Diamond Beachbody coach. I have been coaching for 3 years now, and I love it. I love it so much. And I love doing sneak peeks. I love talking about it. I love everything coaching because it changed my entire life. And I'm going to go into that with you guys. So my story goes back a very long time ago. It actually goes all the way back. Hang tight. Hey! Gizmo! I'm sorry. My goes way back to when I was in high school. And honestly, I'll give you a little background even before that. So I grew up in a family with 2 working parents who were constantly traveling, well, I shouldn't say constantly traveling. So I grew up with 2 working parents. My dad owned a construction company, and then my mom owned her own business at that time too. She owned a clothing store. And so 2 parents that worked during the day, and it was not the norm for us to have dinner, at a set time, to sit down and eat a meal together. It was more a norm for somebody to pick something quick up on their way home from work, right? So KFC was like a go-to. I think it was like my mom, who absolutely loved their fried chicken. And so we did a lot of KFC, but we did a lot of fast food because that was quick and that was easy. My parents really didn't know better, honestly. And the result of that is that I never grew up learning really anything about nutrition. I never learned like how you should eat. I never learned why it was important to eat vegetables. And to be honest, I didn't really eat very many vegetables. And what I did eat generally came from a can with lots of sodium. And we didn't eat a lot of fresh veggies at my house, didn't eat a lot of frozen veggies or anything like that. So I didn't get a good like baseline on how you should eat. So growing up, I am I competed in rodeo events. I still do. And so on the weekends, my dad and I did a lot of traveling. And so again, traveling, didn't have a good basis for nutrition. We ate out a lot. Obviously, we ate a lot of gas station food. One of our routines on our way home, oftentimes, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, we would stop at the Waffle House and I would always get a waffle and drown it in butter and syrup because that's what I loved. I, to this day, still love waffles, pancakes, all that stuff. And so that's kind of how I grew up on the nutrition side of things. And then, to add on to that, I have a skin condition that causes blistering of my feet and my hands as a result of friction. And so growing up, I lived in Northwest Arkansas where it was really humid, and my skin condition prohibited me from participating in any kind of sport that required a lot of intense activity. So, like softball, track, cheerleading, anything where I was going to have to be really active. So that pretty much ruled out all team sports. The only thing that I probably could have done was swimming, but back then I didn't really love swimming. So anyway, so when I was in high school, I was, I was not by any means overweight, but I was heavier than what I would have liked. And so a big reason for that is because although I was active, like I was always on the go, always doing stuff, always outside with my horses and that kind of thing, I ate terrible. And so I started to develop a lot of body image issues when I was in high school. So I was really envious of the cheerleaders, really envious of the dance team. I really wanted to be able to dance, but I physically was limited and couldn't. Plus I didn't, like, I wasn't dancing, not my strong suit, I'll put it that way. But I was really started to be very jealous and envious of how the people who were really athletic looked. And I started to really develop this thought process or this mindset where I was like, God, I just want to be skinny. I just want to be skinny. So I started doing some at-home workouts. The first at-home workout program I did was called Tae Bo. Some of you guys might recognize it. Billy Blanks. Super fun. That was where I initially fell in love with the after exercise endorphin rush, right? Like I did lose some weight when I started incorporating that, but I liked doing those workouts because they were short. I could do them from home. If my feet hurt, I didn't have to work out. I could do it on my own time with my limitation, and I loved it. And so from there, I went on to do other programs, at-home programs. So Insanity, P90X, like I loved those programs. I loved, like, the more intense, the better, right? So let's fast forward a little bit and we get into college. Okay. So college, totally different ball game for everybody, right? So I got into college, you guys, and I really wanted to lose this lingering 15 pounds that I had when I went into college. I didn't gain it in college. So I started to develop some really unhealthy habits. I started on my decade of yo-yo dieting, right? So I started on this whole literally 10 plus years where I did all the fad diets. I did Weight Watchers, I did juice fasts. You guys, I cut out entire food groups. I would do a juice fast for 14 days where all I would do is eat vegetable or drink vegetables. Like I would juice them in a juicer and that's all I would have. And the thing about it is, you guys, is every time I was following a program, I would lose the weight, right? But as soon as I went back to my old habits, I gained it all right back. Okay. In kind of the midst of all of this, I started doing CrossFit, okay? And I fell in love with CrossFit. It was similar to an at-home program in that my physical limitation didn't hold me back. I really loved the idea of being strong. And I was getting stronger and stronger. I loved that there was always something to work on. I loved the community aspect of it. And then, of course, loved the exercise endorphin rush. And so I started doing CrossFit. I saw some great results with CrossFit. Okay. At one point, I was doing CrossFit and Weight Watchers. I lost a lot of weight. I got down to like 123 pounds. You guys, I weigh 150 now. So, you guys, that's 30 pounds less than what I weigh now. It's crazy. I was way too skinny. But nonetheless, so that really helped me in the exercise department. It helped me start to feel strong. But my nutrition, you guys, it still sucked. My nutrition still really sucked. And I still didn't know how to eat. I still didn't know what to eat. I still had an unhealthy relationship with exercise because not only would I go to a CrossFit class, but I would also go to the gym at school and go on the elliptical for 2 hours. Like I would eat a whole pizza or whatever. And then I'd be like, oh, I can just work it off in the gym. That's fine. And then I would go and work out for 3 hours a day. Like it wasn't a healthy relationship. And so I was really frustrated, right? So we're going to fast forward, quite a few years to 3 years ago. Okay. I was counting macros for my nutrition. I was doing CrossFit. I was really happy with my performance in the gym, but I was not happy with how I physically looked. I wanted to be leaner. I wanted to continue to be strong, but I wanted to be leaner. And I also wanted, I was tired of counting. I felt like I had to count everything I put in my body, and I hated that. Like I was just so sick of counting. And so I lost my train of thought. So I was really sick of counting everything. I was sick of counting the calories. I was sick of counting grams of fat and grams of carbs and grams of all of the things. I had done Weight Watchers before, so I didn't want to count points. And so I happened to pop on social media one day, which I had Facebook and I had Instagram, but I only got in there like once a week, right? And so I happened to pop on social media, and a friend of mine's post popped up, and she was talking about this intuitive eating program. So I happened to go to her stories, and she was giving more details on her story. She was talking about how it's really focused on emotional eating and on mindset and on not counting. So it's really an intuitive eating program to help you lose weight. And I was like, well, that sounds intriguing, right? That was something I'd never done before. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, will you tell me more about this program? And so she did. She was like, yeah, it's intuitive eating, and it's a really, really great program, really focused on eating vegetables and drinking a lot of water. And so I was like, well, I think I want to try it. She's like, okay, well, yeah, let's get you set up. The best way to go is with a package. The package comes with access to the program forever. It comes with a year's worth of our workouts. It comes with a superfood shake. And I was like, whoa. Now, wait a second. I'm only interested in the nutrition program. Like, I have my own workouts. I do CrossFit. I don't need more workouts. And I'm not interested in any kind of shakes. I had done that before. I had done Isagenix. I had done other shakes, right? And shakes didn't work for me. I was like, I'm not interested in any kind of shake. And she was like, okay. She's like, I totally get that. And she was like, it makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more cost effective to go ahead and get you set up with the full package. And she was like, with the workouts, there are a ton of options on there. So if you can't get into the gym one day, you just want to do something light, you can do that. There's lots of stretching, lots of yoga. And so that was appealing to me because I was like, well, I always need to stretch, and I can stretch, like I could do that at home. I could easily, do a 10-minute stretch video really quick at home, so I was like, okay, that's true. And as far as the shake goes, she was like, you can send that back if you don't like it, but I do want to let you know that that the shake totally cut out my sugar cravings. Like, I don't even want sugar anymore after having it in my life. And I was like, well, that's definitely intriguing. And she was like, it has probiotics in it. It has prebiotics in it. So it really helped my gut. And she was like, it's been a game changer for me. So I'd really encourage you to try it. And so, I went back and I kind of looked at some of her posts and things she'd been talking about. And she was really happy, you guys. At that time, she had 3 kids. She had a 6-pack. She was always posting about how happy she was. She was always posting about her mindset. And I was like, well, if this worked for her, then like, why couldn't it work for me? So I was like, okay, let's do it. I got signed up. I went all in right away. I went through all the videos that trained me how to use the program. As soon as I got my shake in the mail, I started drinking it, figuring out how to mix it where it made sense for me. I started doing some yoga workouts. I just kind of dove all in with all of it. And within 3 weeks, I had lost about 6 or 8 pounds. I can't remember now. But the real deal was, you guys, I had lost the weight before, right? The difference is how I was feeling. I physically felt good. I wasn't starving. My stomach didn't hurt anymore. I had had gut issues for years. I had been on prescription probiotics. I had been on gastroprotectants before. My stomach didn't hurt anymore. I felt amazing. And it was at that point where I was like, you know what? Like, I think I want to help other people do this. And my coach, she had kind of planted the seed when she got me set up. She had said, we're going to get you set up with this coach discount. It gets you a discount on future products. And I told her that I was like, yeah, I don't need coaching. I've got a job. Like, I'm not interested in that. And she was like, that's fine. Again, we can just cancel it if you don't end up getting more product. Otherwise, you can just use it for the discount. And so I was like, okay, whatever, we'll do it. But then, you guys, after I got such amazing results, I was like, I want to do this. Like, I want to help other people do this. And so from that point forward, I never looked back, hit the ground running, started coaching, and I will do it forever and ever because it's literally changed my life. So, you guys, some things that, like, the big thing that I really want to touch on is the community, okay? Because the community that came with this was the part that I was like, oh, I don't need that. Like, I don't need accountability. I don't need other people to help me work out. I'm self-motivated. I'm self-disciplined. Like, that part I don't need. And it turns out that accountability is exactly what I needed. Because when you make living your best life your business, that gives you the motivation when you want to grab the donut versus the broccoli, right? When you get up in the morning and you're like, God, I don't want to work out, but you promised your crew that you were going to meet them in the virtual gym at 5 a.m., you don't want to let them down, right? So you guys, coaching was like the magical piece of the puzzle that I needed to keep it all together. Because once I had that added accountability, the thing is you guys, I did CrossFit. I had the accountability at the gym. So as soon as I got to the gym, I was good, right? Like as soon as I got to the gym, I did my workout. I had the people that I loved that, were holding me accountable. But you guys, I'm only at the gym an hour a day. What about the other 23? When I'm eating, when I'm making my food choices, when I'm deciding when to go to bed, right? Now with coaching, I can literally, if I'm having a bad day, I can literally reach out to my crew anytime that I want to for accountability. And again, when I am reaching donut versus broccoli, well, I need to show up as my best self. And how is that donut going to make me feel? It's not going to make me feel very good. It's not going to make me feel like my best self, right? So I'm going to have the broccoli. Do I have a treat sometimes? Absolutely. I love brownies. I love cake. Oh, I love cake so much. I had cheesecake the other day. It was the first time in like at least 6 months that I had it. So good, worth every single bite. Physically, it was a lot of sugar, so it didn't make me feel good. But I ate that brownie or that cheesecake for my soul, right? To feed my soul, because that's what it needed. So you guys, the community is amazing. And I would just encourage you, even if you're like, gosh, I don't need that community, to give it a try, because it's unlike anything else. So the next piece of the puzzle that I want to talk about, and then I'll jump off of here, is mindset. Okay. Mindset's everything. And that was like I said, I had done all the things, right? I had tried all the things. I tried all the diets. I couldn't find one that I could stick with, right? What changed here, you guys, was mindset. The first thing that my coach sent me as soon as I got set up, this is even before I was coaching, she was like, you need to start reading a personal development book. And I was like, what's personal development? You guys, I didn't even know what it was. And she was like, well, what are your limiting beliefs? And I was like, what's a limiting belief? And she was like, what holds you back in life? And I was like, I have no idea. You guys, I didn't know. I didn't know that I had emotional eating issues. I didn't know that there were things that were holding me back. So she recommended a book to get started, and I hit the ground running. And as soon as I dove into the world of personal development, literally I couldn't get enough, you guys. That was the beginning of me establishing a killer morning routine. That was the beginning of, it was the beginning of everything for me, because now I wake up in the morning, and if I don't get my at least 10 minutes of personal development in, I don't feel like the same human. I don't feel good. And so, because personal development is just everything, we have to flip our mindset around food, around exercise, around our health and wellness journey, and stop expecting instantaneous results. That was my problem before, was I was expecting instant results. I wanted instantaneous results, and that just wasn't something that was possible. You know what I mean? And by doing mindset work, I was able to develop realistic expectations. I was able to get over my emotional eating, right? All right. So that's my story. That's how I got here. I want to tell you guys about my life, because you need to know about my life. So I am, so now I'm a full-time veterinarian. So I work as a veterinarian. I also coach, I guess you could say part-time, but coaching isn't designed to be some 40-hour-a-week kind of a job. So take that with a grain of salt. I probably work somewhere between 10 to 20 hours a week on my coaching business, and I am able to make an income, and I'll talk about this in detail later, but I'm able to make an income that would be equivalent to what many people make full-time with that. And so, at this point, at this stage of the game, I am. Now, when I started, obviously, that's not how it was. So I'm also, you guys, I'm a super busy human. So we have 5 dogs. I have horses. I said earlier, I compete with my horses, rodeos. I'm also a competitive CrossFit athlete. I'm married. So I'm a really, really busy human. I'm currently recovering from hip surgery. So you guys, I'm busy. I'm a really busy human. And that's probably one of the biggest objections I get when it comes to coaching, is just that, like I don't have time, I'm really busy. And the thing about it is, you guys, and again, I'll talk about this in more detail later. The thing about it, you guys, we make time for what's important to us. And coaching literally changed my life. It literally changed my life. And I was so skeptical to begin with. So I can't even imagine where I would be if I hadn't said yes, if I hadn't took a chance on this. You know what I mean? It made me a better veterinarian. It made me a better wife. It made me more intentional with my time. It made me honestly get on social media less, or that's not true, get on social media more intentionally, because now when I'm on social media, I'm not aimlessly scrolling. I am working and making an income to change my family's life. So with that being said, the last thing I'm going to say is I just want to let you guys know who I'm looking for to add to my team and why. Like, why do I want other people to do this? So I guess the why should be pretty clear. This is a life-changing opportunity for me, and I feel like it's my duty to share it, because I was so skeptical about it, and I didn't know it even existed before I was told about it. So to me, the more I can spread the word about this, then the better, because I'm in this to impact lives. I'm in this to change lives, to help people the way that this has helped me. Okay. Second thing is who I'm looking for in a coach on our team. You guys, I want to work with somebody. I want to work with you. Okay. I want to work with you, that person who is a go-getter, who wants to work hard, right? Who wants to help other people, who has a heart to serve. Those are pretty much the only requirements to be on my team. I want someone who wants to change their life and change the life of other people. Okay? All right, guys, I'm jumping off because I've talked for 21 minutes. But thanks for everybody who hopped on. And as always, if you guys have questions about anything, make sure you let me know, okay? You guys have a great day.